So, hi guys, thanks Tara for joining us today on this Consciously Building series. So awesome to have you along with us.
Thanks for having me, honey. Thank you everybody for watching the recording.
So Tara and I connected in Nepal. We're both over there with the co-impact sourcing adventure and choice humanitarian trip with doTERRA, and we were able to spend some time really closely together along with other doTERRA wellness advocates, and it was a really, really important time in my life. And during that time I was able to hear about Tara's journey and also her amazing team that she's been able to empower, and they have now risen to the rank of Presidential Diamond as of last month. So that's a huge achievement. So congratulations firstly on that. And so I wanted to
Thank you, sweetheart.
I wanted to invite Tara into my organisation to be able to share her wisdom and what she has learned with this journey to Presidential Diamond, and to give us some little nuggets and some tips to be able to inspire all of us to strive for this amazing achievement. So once again, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
What I want to start with is, can you just tell us what your first introduction to doTERRA was, Tara?
Yeah, I think the first introduction I had, I was at Byron Bay and I had a massage, and I was just in this little upstairs studio. It was very modest, and I had an amazing massage. And then I've never really been a fan of lavender oil. I always thought that it was very boring, and I was much more interested in the more like exotic oils, you know. But this smell of lavender just came upon me, and I was like, what is that? And then she put peppermint on the bottom of my feet, and I just felt so moved by the quality of the oils. Like, I'd been using essential oils ever since I was a little girl. Like, they were always a part of my life, you know. They were always there. Been meditating since I was a little girl. Like, they were always in the periphery. But I had this experience with doTERRA. I went to pay for my massage and then bought a diffuser and a little bottle of wild orange. And then it's like, you know, when you buy a red car and then you see a red car everywhere, you know how you see that, hear that analogy? I bought doTERRA and then I started seeing it everywhere. So it was at my local market. I started buying it on eBay. I was buying my oils on eBay. Yeah. So I'd been using the oils actually for a few years before I even knew that there was a business opportunity attached, or before I knew of the business model, that it was network marketing. And because I had experience with a network marketing company when I was 17 years old, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. I'm pretty sure they just dodged the paperwork. So that just fizzled into nothing very quickly. And then I fell in love with On Guard and peppermint and the foodie oils and citrus bliss. Like, they were the oils that I used to buy on eBay. And then it was actually when I was in Japan just over 2 years ago, snowboarding with my hubby, and I got very sick. And because I had lived in Canada for 6 months at one stage in my life, snowboarding again, everyone up there knows that when you're sick, you call on oregano oil to help your immune system. So here in Australia, because our temperature is so mild, we're really not educated on how awesome oregano oil is, you know. Or they would say oil of oregano, you know.
Yeah, oregano.
And every time I do that, I'm like, that was not a Canadian accent. That was definitely Texan, but you get the idea. And so I was in Japan very sick, and I had On Guard and peppermint with me, but I thought what I really need is oregano. So I'm just going to buy some, get it sent home. I knew I'd be sick for a while. It was just one of those things. And so when I got home, I would just smash it and hopefully recover very quickly. And after Googling the oils, I landed on this lovely website and bought the oils. Unbeknownst to me, it was Hayley Hobson's website. And then when you buy oils off Hayley, you get all the business opportunity pretty quickly, you know. And I didn't think much of it at the beginning, but as I started to read through it, I started to see this vision in front of me. I was feeling very uninspired in my business and wanted to create a different way to express a message. Like you, Erin, you're a giver and you're a lover, you're a love bug, and you're here to serve. And I'm sure that when you unpacked the opportunity, you saw this as another vehicle to do so outside of your nursing and your midwifery. And when I unpacked doTERRA, I saw another way to serve outside of my one-on-one coaching and my speaking and my writing. So I said yes, and I leaned in, and what the hell happened over the next 2.5 years? I don't know. Here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. I just said yes, followed my intuition.
Yeah, amazing. And when you do start using products, and that you actually connect to, your conscious mind actually searches for them. So it's like that red car analogy. You actually know, your body knows, or your mind knows that that's what you're needing. So totally, I really understand that. So you saw this, and like you said, it's hard to miss the business opportunity when you're connected with someone like Hayley Hobson. So when you saw that was an opportunity, what did you find so appealing about the opportunity? And what do you find so appealing now about doTERRA as a company and the opportunity that they present to us?
Oof. Instantly, when I saw the compensation plan, I didn't see dollar signs. I didn't see me making all this money. I saw it was a requirement that you bring people along with you. It was very attractive to me. Like, something I noticed in a lot of my one-on-one coaching was people liked the idea of having a coach. This is very general. This is a very general sweeping comment, certainly not true in and of itself. But people like the idea of having a coach. People would invest in a coach. People would make great changes in their life and open their heart and inquire deep within. But if I looked at all my clients at the end of 3 months or 6 months, they were all still broke. I'm going to be honest. And I think that that's a problem. Like, that's a problem. You're like, money is a holistic part of our life. You know, like we work on our health and we work on our relationships and we work on our creativity and our spiritual practices. Like, our finances it's a part of our life. It's a part of what it means to be a whole human today. And so when I saw that opportunity, I instantly thought of all the women I'd ever worked with. I thought of thousands of women that I've never even met yet that I might get the opportunity to. And I just saw us all doing this together. So that's what got me. I just felt the purpose that I would feel in that. Like, wow, this will get me out of bed in the morning. I can't wait. I can't wait to take people along on the journey with me. And what about doTERRA today? I still find this very hard to articulate. How can you sum up the culture of the company in like a soundbite, you know? It's hard enough to do before you go to bloody Nepal.
Yeah.
But then you go to Nepal, or you go to Global Convention, or you spend half a day with your crossline mentors. It's very hard to quantify. I think doTERRA and just these beautiful oils, I've got Vitae going, they themselves attract a certain caliber of human being. And when you can really lean into that and embrace it and get over any of that lingering residual stuff around network marketing or around the profession, but really look at what's in front of you and look at the people that are in front of you, then that's when you really open yourself up to the magic. I've never met a community like it. You know, I've never made friendships like this. And so I'm still figuring out how to actually explain what we're a part of here, because I just go silent. There's no words that can really articulate that. Do you feel the same?
Yeah. yeah, you know how I feel about that, and that's how I share with others, and that's how I lead my team as well, because I feel that, yeah, we are not here to sell oils, we're here for a greater purpose, to educate and empower others, and we use our essential oils as a vehicle to allow us to do that. And Nepal for me was just incredible. It's hard to, like you said, it's hard to explain to those that weren't present how much doTERRA really fills your heart when you're part of something so big as being part of that Nepal trip.
Yeah, and I mean, just to give everyone an example really quickly, like, you know, we spent a lot of time with Rob Young, right, over there, and I just enjoyed observing him, and just being totally in awe of his humility and commitment. And so we were sitting on the bus, up the back of one of the buses one day, and Vanessa Jean was talking to Rob Young about, you know, there's this other oil, I wish you guys would have it, it's the only oil in my collection that's not from doTERRA. Instantly he starts Googling it. Instantly he starts Googling the chemistry and going, yeah, that chemistry is really interesting, I really like it. Instantly he's like, okay, where does it grow indigenously? Okay, Peru, I think it was. Yeah. And then he's like, okay, cool, I wonder what humanitarian projects we can do there. Like, it went that quickly, 30 seconds. It went from, oh, one of my wellness advocates is telling me about a new oil, to here's where we'll source it, let's have a think about how we can help the community. I mean, it's real, you guys.
Just blows your mind, doesn't it? Just blows your mind. And for him just to be, and his wife and his two boys, who are just as incredible, they were just part of us. And you forget that Rob was actually is part of the executive team. He was just like the chain gang with us, and totally incredible. We were just on that bus, stuck in traffic. He pulls out the phone. He's, oh yes, that sounds like a really lovely oil. How can I help the community in that area with our co-impact sourcing? So yeah, absolutely. That's the company that we are involved in. So you said that you obviously are part of Hayley Hobson's team. Hayley's not in Australia. How, when you started building your doTERRA business and knew that your support or your upline was not in the same country as you, how did that impact the way that you were going to build your
business? I think it kind of worked in my favour a little bit, because I'm quite independent by nature, and Hayley had enough stuff online, enough back office trainings, enough glimpses into the compensation plan, enough strategy for me to understand. Well, I say that for the first month I was selling everybody US kits. Like, I had no idea, but like how Kim and I built our businesses was on Google. Mm-hmm. We lent on Hayley stuff, and if that didn't answer our questions, we just went to Google. So I think the main way that Hayley influenced me was just being that beacon. So I enrolled through her, and then in my face every day was an example of what was possible. So that inspired me. You know, that was just like, oh, I'll just figure it out. And, you know, if I had a question, she was right there. She's always very available. But and I know we still did this very quickly, but what slowed us down was that we did not have access to this beautiful culture in Australia. I didn't know who Vanessa Jean was, didn't know who Jessie Reimers was. I thought I was one of the first people in Australia to do it. Like, I just didn't know. I was like, where is everybody? What's everyone doing? Like, I didn't know that I wasn't a part of any Facebook groups. So that was interesting. You know, we used to place in our organisation very differently. Our team calls used to be very like, what's happening with your volume? What classes are you doing? Like, it used to be very quote unquote American, if I'm allowed to say that. And then that came a point where that wasn't working for us, and it started to feel a little bit dry. And I think a lot of us were feeling really uninspired in our businesses, actually. Mm-hmm. And so Hayley has always been that beacon for me, and she's always been my big sister in that way. But my business really started to take off when I lent into and embraced and loved and reached out to my Australian brothers and sisters. That was when it really started to happen. And that's a little conversation on the importance of culture. Yeah. It's so magnificent here in this country, the culture. It's just unbelievable. And Hayley feels it every time she comes over. She's like, you guys, there's something magical in the water here. So I'm really grateful for that.
Absolutely. Now you've just obviously had a massive month. You've got a new blue diamond, you've got some new diamonds, you've got some incredibly empowered women alongside you. What do you do on a daily basis to work and generate that culture within your team and to be able to support people that are leading so strongly within your organisation?
Such a good question. I think it's very case by case. So, I have people in my organisation where the best thing that I can do to lead them is to give them plenty of space and to check in with them once or twice a month. And then I have other people in my organisation where we're boxing each other every day. And so to answer your question, I think it's really coming to that beautiful acceptance that effective leadership isn't just about us leading the way we want to lead, but meeting people in that messy middle and surrendering a little bit of our ego and asking ourselves, how does this person need me to lead them? And that takes a little bit of time to iron out those kinks. But when there's somebody really independent on my team, I remember I used to get really triggered by that, and it kind of showed me how codependent I was. Like I wanted them to need me, and yet when they really needed me, I was like, give me some space. It was this really, if I can just be really human for a moment here.
Absolutely.
But now with the girls that are really independent, the best thing that I can do is just I'm the chief vibration holder of the team. And I'm really seeing, the last 12 months, it's like my job is to cast this vision so deep and so wide and so far that it is difficult for a person to quit, and just hold that vibration. And how do I do that? I've got to take good care of myself. I've got to show up regularly in our Facebook groups with, I like to contribute new content and just keep updating the trainings and asking how may I serve. I know that you would say that too. But then for the people that are a bit more sensitive and that really need me, it's great. The balance is good there because I can be much more available to them. So it's a sensitive, subtle thing. There is a really great, just to add one more test into the mix. I know that we have our numerology and we have our passion test and we have everything, but something that's really worked for me is called the color test. And it will tell you whether you're a red, a blue, a white, or a yellow. I'm a red. The reds are very visionary. They can be quite direct. They can, cut through emotion when needed. A blue is very emotional. They love intimacy. They love connection. They'll ask a lot of questions. A white is driven by peace. This is 100% Kim Reed. She's just peace. She's not interested in gossip. She doesn't need to be overly supervised. She loves to collaborate, but she's quite independent as well. And then you've got your yellows who are just all about the fun. Like they just want to party. They're like, yeah, let's get the oils over everyone. They're kind of like Vanessa Jean. So when you know what colour you are and you know what colour they are, you can organise your life around how you can best support your leaders,
Yeah, wow, cool. Yeah, there's lots to take into consideration, seeing we work with people every day and everyone is different. So when you first started, when you knew that this was what Tara Bliss was going to do, what was the first steps you took, and when you started hosting workshops, how many would you have started with?
Cool. All right. So the first thing that I did is I reached out to people that I had a really strong know, like, and trust factor with. Now, this is really interesting because I stood on stage at One Tree for 5 minutes or whatever on the Gold Coast, and I told everybody that I shared with everybody that one of my strategies was that I didn't ask everybody in my life. And I have some thought. I'm going to circle back to this because I'm noticing something that's happening in my team at the moment, and it's really got me thinking. So I didn't enroll my friends. I didn't do it. Now, I'm actually saying not, even though I'm Presidential Diamond, don't repeat what I did. I didn't enroll my friends. Instead, what I did was I focused on people I actually had some distance from that I knew would love to come on this journey with me. So old work colleagues, clients of mine that I'd finished working with, people that I knew read my stuff and that really liked it. People I had, do you know what? It was people I had a safe distance from. So if they said no, it wouldn't hurt me too much, if I could be really honest. So I really didn't step into my business and own and claim the opportunity. I was afraid of being judged. I was not I had not risen above that. And I had this really interesting experience last weekend because I was down with a friend in Sydney. She's, an influencer. She's going to enroll. And she has enrolled. And I was watching her. She had already started writing her names list. She calls it her freedom list. And she's like, these are the people that we're going to free. Oh my God, we should invite this person and this best friend, and she's going to be amazing. Oh my God, this would change her life. And I sat there and I was like, oh my God, I didn't do that. I was too in my own shit to be thinking about how much of a gift it would be to the people that are closest to me. And so now all of my best friends are enrolling. And they are excited, and they're saying things like, I wish I enrolled a year ago. And I'm just like, oh, seriously. So to come back to your question, honey, I approached people that I knew I had a strong know, like, and trust factor with, people that would trust me with their guidance. The first few months I built mainly from those online connections, so I spent a lot of time on the phone and on Skype doing one-on-ones, enrolling people manually. And then it was Kim who started running classes that really encouraged me to run classes, because I watched her go off and do this, and I was like, oh, I'm her leader. I need to be leading by example. I need to be doing classes, So I think I just did one a month for about it, one a week for about a year. And now I do about 2 a week, and then mainly for my team. I mainly focus on getting out there and mobilizing my team, because I still get enough coming through on this thing where I can just travel around now and mobilize the girls.
Yeah, fantastic. And so now, being at the rank of Presidential Diamond, the effort that you put in the beginning, do you feel that those 1 workshops a week, the time that you spent preparing, that it was all completely worth where you are now?
Yeah, and I really want to be honest about this. I feel like from 0 to diamond is the most difficult. I felt this business model, I felt the workload, I felt the juggling start to stabilize after diamonds. I really did. I think that comes with its own challenges, but by then, once you've built those first 4 legs, you've got a certain amount of knowledge in your bones, so that when you start on that 5th leg and that 6th leg, you get to experiment, and you're starting this whole new leg, and you get to implement all the lessons that you learned and shortcut things a little bit. But yeah, that 0 to diamond and all those little fumbles and awkward moments and mistakes and little mini failures, which of course there are none, and all of that growth and all of that conflict resolution and all of that, I just look back And would I do it all again? It makes me feel a little bit tired if I think about that. But yeah, I would, because it's just the greatest blessing, not me being presidential, but me being that torch bearer and showing these girls that are so close to home what's really possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone that you would speak to would say that it was hard work, but it's completely worth the journey to be able to serve the way that we can where we're at currently. So that's an amazing opportunity that doTERRA offers us.
Yeah.
Put in the hard yards early, then we reap the rewards and able to support others on their journey.
It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. It's like, sorry about the plane, by the way, but yeah, it's pretty absurd. The soul of the company. So I was on a call to a mentor the other day, and this is going to land on some of your team members and other people. It's going to kind of go straight over their head. But she said to me, Tara, you signed a spiritual agreement with the souls of these plants. I was just like, stop it. Stop it. It's too much. This is just too beautiful. And I think that when you combine that with the souls of the founders and the souls of the actual doTERRA as its own entity, it's like, it's just at the top of my gratitude list every morning, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And my children as well. We do daily gratitude, and the kids always bring up oils on their gratitude for their daily list. And my daughter yesterday, just to go off a bit off topic, yesterday she was writing down, I said, Charlotte, what are you up to? She was sitting on my floor with my whole big doTERRA case that I travel with, and she was pulling out her oils and writing a list of her favourite oils down on her piece of paper so that she can put them on her desk. And so the oils are a part of our life just completely, and just to see my children being able to take on that as well is a credit to the company, you know, to be able to create that just flows through everyone. So when you share with others now, and when do you actually share the business opportunity? When you share the oils, or when do you actually share that business opportunity with others?
So like in a class situation?
Yeah, or a one-on-one, or whenever you would normally share the oils. Do you just start by sharing the oils and then lead into the business later down the track, or do you really just jump in and share the opportunity?
Again, it's case by case. So if I'm at a class, it's oils focused, but then I definitely do give the business opportunity the room that it deserves at the end. And I can give an example of what I say there. But just from continually showing up and sharing on not even my business Facebook page, but even just my normal profile, just continually showing up there and weaving doTERRA very, just peppering it throughout my message on Instagram. A high percentage of people come to me and they just say things like, okay, I'm ready now. I want to know about the business. So in which case I'll just get them on the phone and just see where the conversation takes us, and they want to know how does the business model work? They're like, how does it work? So they want to know that, and then of course I weave in the culture there, and they want to know what type of mentoring is provided, because most of these people already know that doTERRA is totally aligned with their values. So sometimes it'll be like a business opportunity call, but then if I'm in a class, I'm totally focused on the oils. And then when I get to the end, I just follow the local Empower kit. And my language around that is, 80% of the people that we've introduced the oils to just love this first option. They want to live. They want to be a raving fan. The oils are in their home. They use them every day. And then we have some people where, they love the oils so much that they can't help but share. And we are there for you. We support you in sharing. And this is really great because you get to get your oils for free, and you can even supplement your income, which is really amazing. And then the third person, you're looking at her. I am a crazy oil lady, and I devote a large portion of my life to doing exactly what I'm doing now, and to teach other people exactly what I'm doing now. And together we get to empower tens of thousands of people's health and revolutionize people's story around money and abundance. And then I think just bringing that fun flavor to it is really nice, rather than. And the third thing is that you build the business. People are like, there we go. There she goes.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I'm the crazy oil lady. That's me. That's why I'm here. Hello.
That's what you're sharing with you. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. So what would you say for someone who is going to, they've set their goals, their massive goals, say they do want to rank advance or they want to expand their business for the month going ahead. What things did you put in place knowing that, you knew in Nepal that the next month you were going to strive for this and Kim and going for blue, and you had so much happening in your business? When did you start planning for those massive milestones, and what did you actually do to prepare for that?
Well, as you know, I didn't really plan. Like Vanessa Jean just worked her magic. I thought that I might try. At the beginning of the year, my goal was the 30th of December. And then I'm like, maybe the 30th of June. And then when we were over there, I thought, well, maybe May. And then when I got on the plane, it's really interesting. I felt like I didn't have a choice. And I really want to make this point. This might sound a bit woo-woo, but sometimes your vision and your goal, it's not a matter of you so much deciding, it's a matter of you listening. Because Prezi was like, through the vessel of Vanessa Jean, was like, the time is now. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. My sixth leg is a premier.
That's huge.
And my fifth leg is a gold. So we've got work to do. And my fourth leg only just went platinum. But sometimes it's beyond reason. And so when I actually felt the alignment of that, and that feels like a click, feels like a click, like you were talking about blue in Nepal, and I could see it was right there. It was right there. But most recently, you've probably felt it go click. And so my approach then was in Bangkok airport was I just needed to share exactly what I was feeling with my leaders and how it involved them. And I made it very clear that it was not about me hitting Presidential Diamond, but it was about us creating this so that we had the most amazing example of what could be duplicated. And so I helped them to see that this would be in the highest good of all involved. And I think, if you're stretching for a big goal, especially in this business model, it comes back to how willing are you to show up for your team, in service of your team. I knew the legs that would be fine, that would stabilize. I knew exactly what I needed to focus on. I knew exactly the 18 elites that I needed to be looking at. And
isn't it? To sit back and look at all those elites and those premiers and just think, wow, that's where it's at. They're the building blocks.
Yeah.
Sorry, you could.
Yeah, I remember ringing Chloe, who's my sixth, and she's just beautiful mum of three in country Victoria. And she stabilised a beautiful premier organisation for a few months. And then I called her and I had this diagram of her 3 silvers and these 9 elites, most of who didn't exist yet. So Chloe, this is what we're working with. Let's just see what happens, So we really held space for those 9 elites down there. And then I had the other spots I was looking at. But when you can zoom out and really focus on that, it makes things, much more digestible than focusing on just that top rank. And then what I could do was come down to these elites and below, and I just, the last week of April, I taught 9 classes in 7 cities. Anybody who was there, anybody who was willing to do a class, I was in their living room. I didn't care what city they lived in. I travelled to Sydney and, did a class. It was like 450 PV. It's like you just take all you just like anything. Like, let's just share the love. Let's just get these oils into as many homes as we can. And and really bringing the girls along, like that regular check-in, that, you know, holding that high vibration. So not allowing yourself to go into stress response, but whoa, like what's happening? Let's just feel the magic. Let's just see if we can, let's just go. Let's just see if we can pull a Swiftie. Like, this is crazy. And then the other thing I would say, and it's a very practical thing, is, and Vanessa, Jean and Paul helped me with this, is be really aware of your buy-in, especially when you're getting to your bigger ranks. And that's not to say aim to buy in, but when you're getting to those bigger ranks, it's really important to know what that amount is, because it helps you to strategize. It helps you to create a mini goal. So, for example, I knew 14,000 buy-in. It was like, if we could get to within that, then okay, technically we're Prezi, so let's just chip away at that. It's really important to know that. And then that also can empower your team so much when you give them that boost with that buy-in, under the understanding that it's not going to happen forever. They're going to have to show up, but it can really like help them to posture up and lean in even more so next month.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to just highlight that with Chloe, that's massive. That is just absolutely blow your mind massive. Going from Premier to Platinum in a month. So 3 kids. She's got 3 kids.
Don't ask me how she does it. I don't know.
She's committed, obviously. She's committed.
Yeah.
So when you said to her about Platinum, how did she feel about that? You know, was she like, whoa, or was she ready? She was all in. Let's just roll with it.
I just can't believe it. She was just like, yep, cool. Tell me what I need to do. She was just, you know, and also because I think, you know, her mum was one of her frontliners and then 2 of her old friends. She wasn't in her head. She was like, oh my God, if I can help get these guys to silver, this will change their life. Like, she went straight into that. And I think,
that's a beautiful story.
You know, isn't it? It's just so amazing. And then she knew, I'm like, Chloe, I'm with you every day. I'm with you every day this month. Like, it was such a partnership.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I don't know why we did it. Yeah. Oh, it was just incredible. And I still don't know why we had to do it in April. Like, we could have just like helped her get to silver, and then like, I don't know.
It was time. That was when everything was meant to be in alignment. So that was
it's crazy.
That's amazing. So what is the plan moving forward? What do you do now? What does Tara Bliss do on a daily basis?
Oh man, I am. Okay, so I'm not interested in setting up an M1 account. No. No. And that might change, but I just want to build such depth and community and stability and possibility in the team. You know, I just really want to help show up for them to expand into whatever their dreams and goals are. And I also, you know, I love creating content. I love that creative space, and I want to make their lives so much easier. So, you know, everyone. So when we stabilize, which will take a few months, I'm sure, I just focus on how do we make this onboarding process even easier? How do we explain this particular part even easier? How do we get an even better retention rate? I don't know, I'm really interested in just continually providing better systems. And trainings and holding and hosting that space. I'm really interested in getting people to silver quite quickly, because I know how much that rank changes people. So I want to work at that grassroots level, you know, get them to exec, get them to elite, and help them to see the vision of themselves as a leader.
And doTERRA now have the empowerment bonus, which is amazing for those premiers and those silvers coming through, help support them growing their businesses at that level as well.
Yeah, I know. We're so blessed.
So what are your top 3 tips? How to achieve success, what do you think people should be doing or should know, or what do you feel are the top 3 things that you could give if someone was either starting out brand new or starting to step into those leadership roles?
Okay, I think it's really important to have some type of practice in your life of self-inquiry. This business model is it's very like, when I feel into the energy of the business, like the profession, it's so beautiful and collaborative, but it has a pace to it. It has like, it's very technology based. It's very much like this. I think it's very important that everybody develops some type of practice where they go within and start to observe themselves, because otherwise what we'll find is that come the end of the month when everyone is being celebrated, you might be sitting there comparing yourself. Or come to that time when somebody says, no, I'm not interested in the oils, rather than just accepting that that person said no, you will take that on as a personal rejection. And I think that that's the main thing that's going to absolutely get in somebody's way, is if they don't have that self-awareness to accept what's going on as it is, rather than this place that our ego sends us into. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. With some resilience, this business does require that resilience and the awareness and that belief.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Develop a rock solid love affair with the oils. Use your oils 20 times a day. Get to know them, feel them. When I'm in my class, I say, what's this oil saying to you? And it's like not going like, g'day babe, how's it going? But it'll tell you whether it's energizing, whether it's clearing, whether it's brightening, whether it makes you feel joy, whether it makes you feel inspired, and that teaches you how to use it. So develop that love affair with the oils. And then the third thing I'd say is, it's not rocket science, but it's just really leverage what's available to you. Just leverage the training, everything like that. And don't be afraid to surprise and delight yourself by committing to it or devoting to the business more than you said you would. So I see a lot of people come in, they say, I'm just going to take it nice and slow, I'm just going to take my time with it. I'm like, yeah, no worries, cool. We can do that. But if I live 10 minutes down the road from you, then why don't we just have like a class every week for a month? Like why not just really lean into it, because I'm here to support you. So I think just be really open. Those two words, surprising and delighting yourself with your commitment and your devotion. But that's going to be difficult for you if you don't have a total love affair with the oils. We see people drop off and fail to leave the runway when they're focusing too much on the business and they don't have that solid practice with the oils.
Absolutely. So I want to finish off with you, Tara, and we often hear that doTERRA is a professional development or a personal development company, and I want to find out, how do you help continue your own personal development, and how do you feel that impacts in your business?
Right now, what that means for me is it's not actually about how much I'm consuming, as in podcasts, books, trainings. But if you're at the beginning of your journey, do that. But for me, it's about how conscious am I being with my attention. And so if I'm working on my business, then my phone's on airplane mode, and all the dinging is stopped, and I'm really present. I'm not working after a certain time at night, and I'm creating space in my life to slow down and to be, because like I said, this business is just so exciting. it can take you out of your body, you know, and just into your mind and into that kind of almost like a cortisol-y, adrenaline-y, you know, kind of state. So for me, my professional and my personal growth is actually making my discipline my blisscipline, which I've heard it say, and just allowing myself to feel really good in that space rather than constantly learning. But that's me now. 12 months ago, I would have been like, I'm reading all the books, I'm listening to all the podcasts, you know, I'm doing all the trainings. Where I am at now, it's more about creating for the team rather than learning right now.
Well, I guess you've been through those stages where you've developed that knowledge and you have learned, and now that you can use that knowledge to be able to support those coming through those ranks as well. And just as important to be, just to be and to be productive. I love how you said that you turn your phone to airplane mode, and that the time that you were dedicating to your work is dedicated on your work so you can be present. And I think that is a completely, hugely important takeaway from this today, is that when we are focused on where we are, if it is spending time with your children, be present 100% with the children, and then spend all your beautiful dog. I love your doggy, she's just gorgeous. And then spending 100% time when you're doing your business or your revenue raising activities for your business, to be completely devoted those hours for that.
Yeah.
I think that works really well for me, and being productive during those hours and being present with my family and my children in the hours that I dedicate to them. That's taken a while for me to find that balance.
Yeah.
I do find that is where I'm in more of that zone of genius when I'm actually being present in those separate tasks. So
I could do a whole bloody keynote presentation on that. Like, scrolling destroys our businesses and relationships and our momentum, you know? So it's like that feeling of really showing up in your life. I don't think anything really compares to that. So good when you can rise above that thing. I mean, it's so life-changing, and it will enhance your business and create more intimacy in your relationships. And you'll learn so much about yourself in just breathing into that space.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been using Voxer this month, so thanks for that,
Good.
Tara. Tara told me about that in Nepal, and it's just been incredible. I've got Mish onto it, and so now we can just, if I'm running around crazy and I have an idea, I can just Voxer it to the girls and they can get back to me when needed. I'm in love with it, obsessed with it. So thank you for introducing me to the world of Voxer.
You're very welcome, honey. I'll talk about it at One Tree in Perth too.
Oh, beautiful. Excellent. So before we go, actually, I do want to touch on that. How important do you feel that attending events like convention, global convention, leadership, are to actually growing a successful doTERRA business?
I can tell you how much, because every single time I've been to one, it's completely changed the trajectory of me. So, you know, when I went to global convention last year, I spent some time with Hayley. Again, I wanted to hit blue in a few months, but that whole experience of being there and being around my mentor, I think I came home and there were 10 days to go from the month, left of the month, and it was like, oh my God, we're going blue this month. And it happened. And then when I went to Aussie convention, that was incredible. I saw this amazing momentum that happened on the team. And then we went to Nepal, and Prezi is something very hard to describe. I've heard Eric Worre say that for every event you attend, you can expect that to manifest as another 1,000 people in your organization. We can't just always rely on ourselves to cultivate this enormous belief. We can't cultivate that what we don't know is there. And so even in March at Aussie convention, I go along and I just feel my confidence tick back up again. You know, it doesn't just happen. You don't just blue diamond or presidential diamond and you've got your game sorted. Like, there's stuff that happens in your business and with your team, and there's disheartening stuff that goes down sometimes. But then when you enter back into that immersive experience of doTERRA, you can feel this little thing tick back up again. I'm ready to take on the world again. Like, I remember this blessing and I'm so committed, and there's nothing like it. So events like convention is so incredible for everyone. Leadership is beautiful because it puts you in this bubbling pot of people who are 100% committed to their alignment. There's no excuses at leadership. No one will ever get on stage and enable anything. It's just real high vibration leadership. And then if you ever get a chance to do anything co-impact, it's just going to tear your soul to shreds. And you will have such a deep heart why that you'll never be able to turn your back. You'll never be able to turn your back on the company or the products or your team, you know. Do it.
Oh,
get them.
Changed my business. Completely changed my business. Attending elite retreat when that's what it was called before. It was One Tree, and then convention. Then I went global convention, leaderships, and it's just incredible.
Yeah.
And we're going back to obviously leadership next month in Perth, but then global again in September. And it's just it reinvigorates you. It makes you realise that it really isn't about us. It's about the impact, the lives that we can impact, and it's just that heart of the company. And for me, I just think it's a staple. It's a necessity. It's something that you must do to be able to serve others on that higher scale.
Yeah, it's our responsibility to be there.
Yeah, great. I love that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It's such an honour to have you on board, and I really loved getting to know you in Nepal and to be able to support you last month as well, just by checking in. And I love to celebrate your success, and I can't wait to see you in Perth so I can do that in person.
Honey, you're just such a light. So grateful for you, and I can't wait to celebrate your beautiful new achievement. I know it's not far away.
The team are giving back to their communities, and it's all going to come together just beautifully this month. And
honey, let it rain with love. Couldn't think of a bit more willing and beautiful and deserving person.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Something that means a great deal to the team. So thank you for being on here to inspire, to impart your wisdom, and share your time with us. And I wish you all the best for this month, and I will see you in a few weeks' time, actually.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I'll see you soon, and I can't wait to hang out in Salt Lake as well. Woo woo.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.